Stop making such a big fuss. Someone has to do it. Someone has to ride around in a Benz. I am up to the task. Not everyone is. Some will quaver, quail, and collapse in a heap. Can you face the complaining, the disparaging faces that look like dark clouds as you drive past? You think it's easy being stuck in a traffic jam with clenched fists of envy in your face. That's why I zoom past in a rush, on the wrong side of the road. I wish you'd try it for a day. It will surely shut you up for good and prove without doubt that it takes a real man, and a real woman too, to withstand this daily harangue. Stop. Just quit the loud lament and objecting. How do you expect a Mheshimiwa to look? Like some simple madman off the street? Of course I must stand out in the crowd. I can't blend in with those grimy jamas. The suit is a must. Pin-striped Armani it must be. It goes with the stature and adds weight, you must see. Stop the howling, like a mindless wind in a storm, please. Can you take the rallies organized just for me? Some idle NGO types did that, you see. Am I cringing? Hell no. I am indifferent, cool and controlled. They're saying I used the wrong words again. And then that I laughed at the wrong time again. And my crying was simply contrived. I didn't show much respect for that hungry old woman's pain. The one who lost all her children and home. That's what they are saying again. But what do they know? Besides, my comments were meant in light jest. Now they are after my head. For a simple slip of the tongue, it's the pressure of grueling affairs of state. I must plead, I must ask you again, what is a Mheshimiwa to do with the anger and spite directed at me and contempt for the work that I do? And that's the poem. Okay, so the poem is talking about, it's from the perspective of a member of parliament who is actually, currently the book that I'm reading currently is called Generation Occupy by Darius Sokola. I don't know whether anyone of you has seen that book. So he analyzes how the protests, from the inception, actually what inspired the protests, but then he traces it back to 2015 when the previous regime started borrowing heavily. They started taking up so much debt, and then how the ripple effect of that has led to the current state of the country, whereby now there isn't any much money for the economy to expand, and now people are suffering. But then still at the same time, most of the politicians are aloof of the situation at the ground. And so, for example, in this case, the assumption is that some of the citizens had lambasted the member of parliament for all the luxury that he has at their expense. And so now he is getting back at them that he deserves to earn that money because many people maybe usually ask him for money. He deserves to drive a big car because of all the work that he has to do in parliament. And it reminds me of another Ugandan poem. Forgotten the name, but it's a very famous poem written from the perspective of a driver who drove a permanent secretary. Does anybody remember the name? Basically, he talks about how, so he's carrying the permanent secretary, and then the permanent secretary is complaining about how he had so much food today and that his stomach is so full that he can't move.
Building the nation.
Or building the nation. Can you just get someone to read it for us before I leave the stage? Just one person to read Building the Nation for us. Because I feel it's quite related to this. And it also has the same theme, where it explains how the politicians are usually aloof to the situation that is faced by the common citizens.